That brings us to our next topic. How do you build generational wealth without a nuclear family? With traditional family structures changing, is wealth building still a group effort, or can you go at it alone? We're breaking down the myths, the strategies behind the financial legacies in today's society. Let's get into it. So, this is a big one. And I say a big one in regards to the sustainability and the advancements of our culture and our people.
Yeah.
We don't have the mindset or the don't seem to have the cognitive aptitude to understand that this is essential.
Yeah.
And this is important for our well-being. Generational wealth is something that's been happening since the beginning of time, and is, I believe, one of the real reasons that we like kind of fall behind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've real quick, let's just define it, of course. Just the internet, the digital streets definition of it. Generational wealth is a relatively new term, and that it has been around, as you said, for centuries. And it's basically building and maintaining generational wealth requires strategic planning and thoughtful investing, and ultimately boils down to you passing down something of values, assets. So in modern times, an asset being something you own that has economic value that also produces some sort of an income. Like that is what an asset is. That's what the generational wealth boils down to. So that's why things like dividend paying stock, rental property that people you rent out, you're the landlord,
Life
insurance. You have all different types of categories and classes of assets. Those that we just listed being the most primary ones, but nevertheless, those are the type of assets that are required for generational wealth. So again, going back to our previous topic, if there's this quote unquote gender war happening, which means that man and woman is in a state of dissension, how do we collaborate to build generational wealth for our quote unquote loved ones and our children if we can't even see eye to eye?
Right. And just on a side note, I am a licensed insurance agent. I'm licensed in California, Georgia, and in the state of Pennsylvania. So if anyone need any policies, feel free to reach out to your boy.
Reach out, my man.
I got you. But yeah, I'm serious. How do we achieve this? If we're constantly fighting each other and you're not understanding and not being able to work together as a team, as a unit, what happens to the legacy? What happens to the generations after us? You know? And then I just thought about that just now. That's another downside to like when you have kids all over the place.
Yeah. That's actually one of the main reasons why I actually wanted to talk about this, specifically for men overall, in that part of our responsibility and duty when it comes to generational wealth is making sure that we don't stretch ourselves thin. And the more children we have outside of our nuclear unit, that's the more we're stretching ourselves thin, because that's more quote unquote economic value that has to go outside of that nuclear household.
Exactly. And like you said, you spread yourself thin. Is like you have no money to survive, but now if you got to give Tamika something, then you got to give Shantae something, then you got to give Maria something, then you got Gloria needs something, and then Rasha Shanita needs something, and then don't forget Catavia, down there,
they all want their cut
on the south side.
They all want their cut.
they all there like, I got your baby. Like, what's the deal?
I got your seed.
Right. We're making light of it. We're just joking, but at the same time, like, if you are a man in that position, it is your responsibility to step up to the plate and do what you need to do with all your children.
Yeah.
And,
so take care of them kids.
Oh yeah, you good.
You just have to understand that you're gonna have to get real creative, sir, because it's only so many amount of hours in the day that you can work. And again, you already got however many kids you got. So when it comes to how you go get ahead, it ain't gonna be through getting another job. It's gonna have to be you using these noodles in between your ears to come up with some sort of idea that you're gonna be able to monetize. And so my recommendation to a gentleman in that position is, use what you got. So again, you dad, you Father Abraham, and so again, document that. You know what I mean? Like people, what's your like you said, what's your solution strategies to
Abraham.
being a multifaceted father in regards to you got seeds all over the place. So you basically
Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah, right. So instead of having one farm that you got to tend to, you got farms all around the city. So maybe that's your value right there, sir. Just don't give up and don't not take care of your kids, because again, a condom would have changed your life, bro.
Yeah, and then when we do have these children or we have these families, like we said, there's a lot of avenues that can give us wealth that we could pass down. Like we said, the one thing is the life insurance policy.
Yep.
Which
that's
is
actually how it's done.
Yeah, that's exactly how they do it. That's exactly how they do it.
Yeah,
because that money is transferred generationally. If you have it in a trust or whatever the case may be, it's untaxed usually, and then you can use it to keep perpetuating. You don't have to use
roll
all
it
of
over.
It can roll over,
right.
And it goes to your grandchildren.
Infinite banking, I think is the word that they call it.
Matter of fact, we got a video of a guy that breaks it down a whole lot better than I can. So let's tap into that video and just get some more insight on it.
But the power of wealth is in the life insurance policy being owned by your trust. You need to have a separate life insurance policy in a brokerage account. Let's say for your grandkid, you put a $500,000 life insurance policy in a brokerage account that's owned by your trust. You leave that $500,000 life insurance policy for 21 years for your grandkids. $500,000 life insurance policy turns into $1.6 million for your grandkids. But you don't give your grandkids $1.6 million. You only give them half, $800,000. The other $800,000 stays in that brokerage account. Another 21 years for your great-grandchildren. That now turns into about $2.4 million. So you don't give your great-grandchildren all that money. You give them half, stays in that brokerage account for your next great-great-grandchildren. So that's $1.2 million, half still in there. That turns into about 4.6, 4.8. Use a compound interest calculator to get these numbers. So now that money's in there. 4.7, let's say now you don't leave that to your great-great-grandchildren, all of it. You break that down to half. So let's say whatever half of that is. But by the time you get to about 7.5 million, leave that for your fourth grandchildren, you left $13 million.
See how he broke it down?
Just that simple.
And it's just as simple as getting an insurance policy. I told my brother and his children, he got about 7 of them, something like that, somewhere around there, 6. And I told him, like, get you enough.
You're only young, bro, so you don't got to know the right count.
I'm not, and I don't got to know their birthdays, but they will remind you when their birthday is. They will be calling when it's their birthday. I got my niece's birthday coming up May 6th. I know hers for sure. But I told them, get a policy when you're young. Because, if you start now when you're 21.
Compound interest, as you said.
That compound interest, and then you could borrow from that.
Yes.
You could borrow from your death payout benefit while you're still living.
And here's the best part about that. You go repay yourself, you go have to pay yourself back. So you ain't making a payment to the bank. You're making a payment back to yourself, but that money then gets flipped and compounded.
Exactly.
So it's just like that's why they call it infinite banking, because it's like you never lose in a sense.
No, you don't lose. And it's
you never lose.
It's continually compounding and flipping and working in your favor. So any of y'all young G's out there, if you're 21 years old and you're 20s, 30s, like if you're just young,
18,
18, get you, and the younger you are, the cheaper your premium is.
Yeah. Because
there's more time that they allocate for you to, to pay it over years. As you get older, it gets more expensive. Getting insurance and policy, getting an insurance policy in your 40s was way different than getting it if you're 18 years old. So you can get $1 million insurance policy when you're 18 and pay only maybe $20 a month. And I'm just throwing that out there. as an example, compared to when you get to 45, 50.
Hold on. Disclaimer. This is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice.
This is just education.
I mean, some of us. I'm licensed to speak what I'm talking about. So, but once again, you gotta, every person's situation is different. It's based on your health. It's based on your age, and it's based on your environment where you live at. Things like there's a whole lot of integers that go into your premium rate. But the main thing is your age, and the younger you are, the lower the premium, and the older you are, the higher the premium. So
Yes.
it's just more beneficial, and it behooves you to do it while you're young.
And another reason why you want to do it while you're young is because, to your point, not only are you going to get the time and the compound interest, but again, it also helps you develop the next generation that's going to have to take this over. Because right now, I don't know if people understand this, there's a great transfer of wealth that is about to happen. It's being called the silver tsunami, or the silver tsunami was
Tsunami.
Yeah, tsunami. Yeah,
You don't pronounce the T.
the silver tsunami or tsunami, whatever.
It ain't you don't pronounce the T.
Whatever it doesn't matter. This is what I'm talking about. The
We just talk about language on the
silver
episode.
tsunami. Yeah,
Stop saying
this is pronunciation, or as you like to say, the articulation of words. So the language, tsunami, y'all know what I'm talking about. Nevertheless, that's basically talking about the age difference between the Asian population, but that generation, or the baby boomers, they're about to do what has been now dubbed the Great Wealth Transfer, which is what was the estimate about 80? What is it about? 84 billion? No, $84 trillion. So $84 trillion is in the process of exchanging generations right now.
Through life insurances?
Life insurance is one of the asset classes.
Through generational wealth.
Generational wealth. Like, this is happening right now.
Oh, okay.
So right now we're experiencing, there is the great wealth transfer is happening, where basically the baby boom, because again, the baby boomers are retiring, they're getting out of their businesses.
Yeah.
So all that has to get transferred to the next generation, X and millennials, and whoever is next in line.
Z's.
But the point being is that, for those who got started early, those baby boomers, they gonna have a lot to transfer over.
Correct.
As opposed to those who started late.
Correct.
So again, to your point, timing, it really does matter. You know what I mean? The earlier you start, the better.
And who don't want to start life with, you turn 18 or whatever the case would be, and you got a trust that you're entitled to that got, $1 million in it. It's like, this is kind of off subject, but this is one thing that I have a gripe with, where we have successful people that want their children to get it from the mud, get it out the dirt like they did. And that's totally unfair to the way that the world works and the way the world is working. People are passing down generational wealth in other cultures. Why do we feel as though that we have to teach our child a lesson by making them struggle and not giving them access to the finances or not leaving them anything? You could still train the child and let them know, how to make the money or whatever the case may be. I think I seen, was that me and you was talking about how the woman, she was rich and wealthy, and her child wanted something expensive, and she was like, well, I'll get it, but you need to understand, for you to get this, you need to work X, Y, amount of hours in the business.
That Cardone, Grant Cardone's wife.
Right.
That was that video.
So what she say exactly? Because I don't.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, if you want,
you can get whatever they. She was basically saying that the kids can ask for whatever they want. He's got to work. They got to work for it.
Right.
And within the business.
Within the family business. Within the confines of what's already set up to make us money. Those are one of those things, like, you don't get an option. Remember, like we were saying,
right.
They don't have no option when they 2 and 3 years old. What is STEM, STEM. That's what we gonna do.
Yeah, right.
That's what you're gonna do. And then, like, far as that, you want to tap into this wealth, you got to contribute to the family business and to the family, workload.
Yep.
So therefore, you want a Maserati? Sure. I got $10 billion.
Yeah.
You can get a Maserati.
You have to work for that, though.
Yeah, I need you to put 40 hours in down there. If we got cleaners, if we got
whatever
the business is. If we sell pastrami down there,
you got to go
at
earn
the Grove, I need you to go down there and chop some pastrami, make some sandwiches. You're still showing them the value of hard work and you know, what it is to, you know, work hard for.
You know, as you, not to cut your wisdom off, but as you actually just said that, I kind of had a vision as to your earlier point why parents think they got to make their kids start from scratch and struggle is because the parent don't know how to train them. Because in most of these instances, the parents that are saying those things, they got their money from employment. They didn't get it from a business in many cases. You know what I mean? So they themselves, they just happen to fall into a nice opportunity and they got paid well for it. But since they themselves necessarily have to go through the entrepreneurial journey of creating an idea and, you know, from A to Z, then they don't know how to train their kid, how to take care of the wealth. That's why they telling them what they tell them. So if you know better, then you will do better. But the parent don't know better.
I think it's selfishness. I
mean, a part of it, well, again, selfishness is humans normal. That's our default. So it's normal for somebody to be selfish. It's actually abnormal for them to be selfless. That's why a selfless individual is valued.
Yeah.
And that's why we value people who quote unquote are considerate or quote unquote, you know, are caring, because
it's the same. We get the short end of the stick though.
To be those things, I mean, to be selfish is our natural default setting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do not. So to me personally, I expect someone to be selfish. That's why I'm impressed when I see someone who is caring.
Understood.
You know, I expect a person, people, you know, not to be, you know, self-sufficient or financially literate. But when I do see someone striving to be, I'm a supporter. Or, you know, so I expect people not to be entrepreneurs. That's why when I see little kids or any man or woman on a corner get what they hustle on, I'm gonna stop and give them some money, even if I don't buy what they got, because I understand that they are disciplining themselves to do something abnormal.
Right.
Period. Point blank. And building wealth is another one of those abnormal activities, because again, it's time. It's we have delayed gratification. We have to be selfless. We have to sacrifice. You know, we have to be disciplined. You know, we have to forego again immediate gratification. So most human beings, they don't have the ability to do that. So they're not going to build the wealth, even if they have the income. You know what I mean? Because we already know that the lottery winners are, for most of those people, that's the worst thing that happens to them in their life.
Yeah.
Because they got money and they don't know how to, so they get themselves in a deeper hole.
And they say what the average basketball player is 10 years after.
No, it was it's shorter than that.
Like 7 years.
I believe just the NFL and NBA specifically, they said within 4 years of retirement.
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow, there
was a whole documentary on ESPN about it.
Oh,
so but again, a lot of that comes from a lack of financial literacy. But again, to be financially literate requires that you read books. You know, you put yourself in environments that you're not familiar with. You're having conversations with people who you know you're not the smartest person. You're not. So again, your ego, you got to be. That's why it pays to be self-governing and have self-control, and because again, you need that in order to build. Because again, you are walking into an environment that's different. But it's not like anything else that you've ever done in your past. Because again, making that shift from elementary school to junior high school is no different than making the shift from not being financially literate to being financially literate. Because again, every year we matriculate to school, there was a new set of terms we had to learn,
right? A
new schedule, a new everything, a new way of life. Every time we went, we graduated. So it's the same with finances in this case, and building generational wealth.
And like you said, life changes, so it's going to get harder, and things are not going to be the same. So to make it easier for your bloodline, have a little cushion there,
exactly.
Like pass something down, so they don't have to be a victim of the changes or of society. At least they can operate from a comfortable.
They have a stepping stone,
platform,
foundation.
Exactly. They could become. What's that? We have a video that shows how we have to do better as
our people specifically.
Our people, being Americans from African descent, we definitely have to do better with passing down. I think we passed down what
$0. Maybe one.
Let's dive into that video. I want y'all to check
maybe
this
one.
out. Right.
You see, the average black family passes on, listen to this, $0 to the next generation. Yep, I said 0. That means when somebody dies, the family gets nothing. No wonder we cry so much at funerals. We're grieving twice, grieving over losing a loved one and grieving that they didn't leave us anything. You see, other ethnic groups leave wills, but we leave bills. Well, what does Proverbs 13:22 say? A good person leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That means our money should impact at least 3 generations. It should impact ours, our children's, and our grandchildren's. So we have to start building generational wealth.
And just like that.
And like, you know,
that simple.
And I could really attest to that because, you know, I just lost my mother recently, and I'm just in awe of how a mother's love for the child, you know, resonates after they're dead and gone. And, you know, she left me an inheritance and she left me some assets, you know, so therefore now my life is operating from a whole different standpoint.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a stepping stone,
a
platform,
a
foundation, as you just said.
And it's just like unbelievable. And it's just like, wow, like, it's amazing how you know your parent can foresee and make provisions for you. And you know, I encourage us all to do it. Like now, I have a few policies, managed market accounts and managed money accounts and policies, and you know. I don't
brokerage accounts.
I don't want to say too much because my family be done killed my ass. Trying to get them.
We bought $200,
but I'm definitely worth way more dead than alive.
Don't you got a money market? What was that account he said?
No, they trying to kill me because they know all my shit is going to a trust which the family will benefit from. So I be done walked out here in the like, oh shit. I'm just joking. I don't got nothing. They not coming to y'all.
I'm broke, baby.
But yeah, it's very it's a wonderful thing when you can operate from a standpoint of, you know, not having to worry about jobs and, you know, I mean, I still work and everything, but you know, if I lose my job today, tomorrow, I'll be good until I get another job. That's for sure. So I encourage all the parents out there to get policies for these for your kids. It don't matter how young they are. Get them policies. Pay that $7 a month. I mean, we spend more. I was just talking to you yesterday about Uber Eats. Every time I eat, it costs $35 goddamn dollars, and we talking about eating 2 to 3 times a day. It's like, how can I be spending $90 a day on food?
But to your point, that's we have. And specifically in our community, in Americans of African descent, you know, we have the money, but because we have no plan, we have no strategy. Yeah. We don't understand that it's just leave it in as soon as it's coming in. You know what I mean? It's out as soon as it come in. Right. Because again, we spending $35 a meal on Uber Eats, or we, you know, as a woman, we expecting the man to send us $100 a day for lunch. You know what I'm saying?
You see the video where the girl got mad and she broke up with the guy because she said, "Could you send me something for lunch?" And he sent her $30.
I think it was 30.
Yeah, he
somewhere between 30 and 50.
Yeah, and she was like livid about it, like $30. I can't do nothing with 30. Well, if you can't eat with $30, miss, you might need to eat something else. $30, you can get you a nice meal. You might have to buy your drink or something. You know, it might include a drink, but you can get a nice meal for $30.
But before we wrap things up, just ultimately remember, ladies and gentlemen, generational wealth is possible, but it requires teamwork.
And it's necessary. Not just possible.
It's possible, it's necessary, but again, it requires teamwork. It requires working with someone else. And again, because I'm realizing now, being single is a mindset. Just like being a family man or a family woman is a mindset. So if you're in the type of even if you are the type of individual where you just want to, you know, do everything for yourself, you still need some generational wealth. Yeah. Because again, I'm pretty sure that you most likely gonna have a niece or nephew or something that somebody you want to look out for. Right. And plus, even your own care in your old age, you're gonna need wealth for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing I think people overlook, especially in our generation. Yeah. And in light of, you know, my grandfather passed and now being with my granny in her golden years, that's what I'm realizing. A lot of people in my generation and younger, we're not even taking that into consideration.
Yeah,
and it ain't about just depending on somebody, but it's about y'all both understanding that y'all are both human, and inevitably y'all both go get old, and y'all go both need some resources to care for yourselves.
Yeah, I took some money and I invested in a retirement account. You know, because we all inevitably gonna get old, and just because you got children, don't mean they gonna take care of you. I'm just telling you. I done seen it. I done seen kids that don't give a fuck. They done pulled the cord on their parents or whatever, and the parents don't come around.
Dropped them off at
a nursing home,
and literally deuces.
And said deuces. So just because you I got kids, you know, or people might say, well, I'm gonna have kids. Those kids aren't guaranteed to turn out considerate and thoughtful and compassionate. You know, so just keep that in mind. Like, you know, your retirement, you know, we can't work forever. Yeah. And you understand what I'm saying? And we ain't going to live forever. So with those being two definites, you know, we definitely need to act accordingly.